Okay, sir. So the next question is, recently, I was calculating the number of years it takes to be a licensed architect in Nigeria compared to other professional bodies. I discovered you spend nothing less than 10 years. Don't you think it's too much? And if there is any effort to lessen the number of years, please tip us from someone else.
Okay. Well, I don't know what time he's counting from. Is he counting from the time you take your SSC or the time you take your JAM, or is it from the time you graduate as a first degree holder, or from the time you graduate as an MSc holder? Those were not captured. So, but I would assume that he's saying when you enter the read architecture, how long it takes you to register. Some institutions do 7 years, some do 6 years. That's to do masters for you who are going to do it straight. And then you come out with an MSc. The MSc, you have 2 years tutelage. And this 2 years tutelage, well, 1 year included, it means 1 year NYSC. Hopefully, if you're going to serve where you'll be able to practice. And then that's 1 year. And then after that, to do the other year. So 2 years minimum for tutelage. And then you will take your exam. So that is normal. I know that, like I said, there's been these hiccups here in the affairs of the institute and the supervising body. And that has created a lot of backlog of people, who want to be licensed. And then I like to treat that era as gone, because what is happening now, we are moving forward, and then ACON and NIA, they've reconciled. The normal thing would be the normal 2 years from MSc, every other person that is not MSc will have to update. You do your first of all going for MSc and then come out and then the 2 years tutelage minimum. That will help you to prepare to get your license, because people's lives and property are involved in this. It's not the institute, or in fact, practically every architect of repute is worried that the membership is not increasing. And so I don't think it's a deliberate effort to let people not register or not to be licensed. It is not. It's just a fallout of some squabbles that happened, which I'm not going to go into. It's not part of it for this program. And that made it difficult or impossible for accreditations and then exams and lots of other things that have to do with people's licensure. So those things have all been resolved. Like I said, you were just waiting for the ministerial approval. The minister is supposed to inaugurate the board, the ACON board. And once the ACON board is inaugurated, we'll go back to normal. Normal is that after your 2 years tutelage, you take your PPE, professional practice competence exam. And then if you pass, you're licensed. But most times you would pass, because that's just basic. It's basically things you did in school. Like I said, if you are someone that fills out Google Forms online, you will realize that you always wanted to know whether you're a robot, whether it's you that is filling out the form. And that's more or less what the APCE is all about. The real competence is now gained through your CPDs, when you have, because you have to keep on updating. When you have art and technology meeting point, it means that because technology is improving, you also have to improve yourself. Systems are improving, methods are improving, ways are improving. So you also have to keep abreast of the progress that's being done, made in the scientific world out there. You have to keep abreast. Clients now becoming more educated, clients now becoming more informed. So you have to be properly, informed to be able to even talk to your clients, to be able to handle your projects well, and and not live with stains of incompetence. And so your CPDs are very important, and CPDs are how you actually improve yourself. CPDs are the same all over the world. We from here, we're doing CPDs. So you have the South African Institute of Architects, Ghanaian Institute of Architects. Most of the things who are online. You can always register for their CPDs with them. But in Nigeria, you do your CPDs that are point awarding. When I say CPDs, they have programs that you can join in online and learn, just get informed and get educated. But then here, it's going to get to a point where you must attain minimum points for you to be able to renew your license. It's not automatic that at the end of the year, you just go and pay and renew your license. No, that's not going to be happening anymore. You're going to be able to know that you are abreast of what's happening, and that we're attending some of these programs, even just simple things as how NIA works. A lot of people are still thinking we are still filling forms and getting receipts, payment receipts, and all those things. A lot of people don't know that NIA has even gone digital, paperless. And so CPDs are going to help with things like that. And CPDs are going to help you how you're going to relate with the medical doctor, how you're going to relate with the lawyer, how you're going to relate with every other profession, the engineers, and so on and so forth. So you get CPD points, and those are the real education now. And so licensure is very straightforward. It's been interrupted, but we're going back on course. And so it shouldn't bother the 10 years or 9 years. Those things were just incidentals, the fallouts of that hiccup. It wasn't intended. It's not designed. Architecture is not designed for you to come and suffer before you get your license. And like I said, I'm reassuring you, I'm very much aware that these things have been sorted out. I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware that we're just waiting for the minister to inaugurate the board, and everything just starts working. And it's going to work so fine and smooth that you wonder what's been happening. You actually forget those years of the wilderness years. Those wilderness years, yes. It's unfortunate that a lot of us who've been affected are people who have careers in the military, career in the civil service, career in the MDAs, whose promotions have been dependent on this getting their licenses being installed. Some of our colleagues who are in the military will tell you they're getting promotions because they don't have that. So it's a pity, but I just wish that it didn't happen at all. Fortunately, it has happened. It's taking like force majeure, and then move on. Just move on.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Then another asked, when is the suspended APCE 4.0 resuming?
It's not going to resume. I told you, it's not. That's out. It's completely out. I told you, and the next things are coming up. No. It's not resuming. There's nothing like resumption. I told you that Akon, they've collapsed. Everything is collapsed. Even everything NIA was doing independently, everything Akon was doing independently, they are collapsed now. We're all coming together to set up this. Once the board generated this PPEC exam will take place.
Okay.
You understand?
Then that means when is the next exam likely going to be?
Just I'm sure if they inaugurate the board today, in the next 1 week or two, the exams will be advertised for the exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's how everybody, that's how hungry everybody is. Not just you, not just they who are, everybody is hungry for that. We want these things to take off. Because there's a lot of backlog, like I told you, the backlog of people who really need sites and stands, everybody's really worried, So once that thing happens, we'll just bring, in fact, let me not even reveal too much, but just take it like that. The road is good now. It's the future is bright. Yeah.
Then what's the hope of HND holders becoming a registered architect without the stress of going back to 200 levels prescribed by Akon as people? During the course of this interactive session, you've mentioned that in the Akon, that's the professional body, would require that someone gets a BSc, one who has HND or OND gets a BSc. But someone else is asking, what is the hope of getting getting to be a registered architect without having to go back to 200 level?
No. You're not going to. There's no need. The people have, the laws have been, the regulations have been put down. You have to follow it. I don't think they're going to waive it. It is now left to universities. They can take you in third year, they can take you in second year. I don't know what they have, but
depending on the grades.
Yes, depending on university, yes. But the regulation is that you have to do your BSc. There's no that opportunity doesn't exist anymore, that you go and get a license from NHN. No. It is not there anymore, unfortunately. But I think it's for the better,
Okay.
Yeah.
Then another person asked, why are we still designing with pencils and paper? If the justification is because students will get lazy, then why do we then use cars now instead of going back to camels?
Okay. That's very, I don't know how, I don't know where he studied, but see, the pencil is still the architect's tool. Because all that is just about communication. It's not really about studying architecture. It is a communication tool. If you have to communicate with your client faster, you're on site and you're communicating and you have to use your marker, felt tip on paper. If you're very good, you use a felt tip on paper and you do it. If you're not very good, you can use a pencil because you can erase it, and do it. The point that these are communication tools, whether it's pens, paper, pencil, marker, they're all communication tools. They're communication tools, same way your laptop is a communication tool, your phone, your smartphone is a communication tool. It is not architecture. That's not architecture. Studying architecture, let me just maybe break it down a little bit for you. It is all the things you do, all the considerations you make from the time you get your brief to the time you develop your accommodation schedule. That's architecture. Every other thing is graphics, presentation, everything you do from the time. In fact, sometimes even debriefing your client is part of architecture. Because for you to debrief your client, for you to make your client has to understand even what he's talking about. So that debriefing, that process, that activity of debriefing your client is as important. In fact, sometimes it's even more important, because from there you will know whether your client is even ready for the project, whether he can pay, whether he's just dreaming, whether he has the ability. Because when you debrief your client, you have an idea of the latitude, what he has, his lifestyle, his fears, his everything, And then you go and do your analysis, you do your studies, you do your everything. If you have to do case studies, you travel, you do all that. Then you come back and develop your condition schedule. You're on at a 2-story high, 3-story high. When you're going to have around, you do your massing. All that is the architecture. Then before you come to start doing your that's communicating. Communicating is that you want to tell somebody else what you're thinking, because already you have it in your head. So every that thing, whether it's by pencil or by computer or AI, whatever it is, it's not to let another person see what you're thinking. That's all. Otherwise, everything is in your head. The whole architecture has finished in your head. You have finished. You can see in fact, you can see the building. You can see the windows, you can see the doors, you can see if it's a school, you can see the children, you can hear them even. You can see the teachers, you can see where, there should be an accident. You have seen everything. You build the house, you've seen it working, you felt the rooms, you see the color scheme. That's where architecture ends. Every other thing after that is presentation. It is because you want to communicate to the engineer, or you want to communicate to the contractor what to do. I want to communicate to the what do you call it, the quantity surveyor, how to price your building, or you want to tell the client, this is what I'm thinking about. You have to talk to your client, because you can't be telling him, I know that this place is going to be like this. I think because the children will come here, I want them to move. No. You're going to show it graphically. But you see, what your children brought, you've already thought about it. You've considered it. You've analyzed it. You've said, you've decided what materials are going to use externally, what materials are going to use internally, how are you going to light the place up? Is it natural? Or your school? Okay, I will not light it naturally. I'll light it from the roof. All those things have been considered. And communication tools, it's simply draftsmanship. It's draftsmanship. So in offices in those days, used to have draftsmen. That's their work. And draftsmen are supposed to have a certain level of education for them to be able to translate what you're thinking. You understand? So because some architects will not go down to the level of detail, they'll just make the and then give it to the draftsman to interpret. So you see what I'm saying? The pencil is an invaluable piece of, invaluable. There's no, in fact, today, there's no alternative. You can have your tablet and have your sketch pad. You can have your sketch pad that are digital. It's not the same thing. Yeah, we have to turn it on. You have to do this. But this with your pencil instantly. Anyway, that is the point I'm making. So when somebody is insisting that you learn to do that, it's because he wants you to improve your communication skill. Let me tell you something. When I was on a project, was doing the ambassadors. It was even the chancellery, the Brazilian chancellery for the Brazilian embassy of Brazil. And the architect that came in, was like, I don't even know if he's alive, real old guy, And, when we are talking and we're talking about the project, he doesn't even have to go home and come back and go and do it on the computer. No. He does it immediately. And so he can attend because he's the one that handles their embassies all over the world. That's what he does. And so to me, that is what architecture is, because he wants to communicate to you what he's thinking. This is what I want you to do. This is how I think it should come out. This is the feeling I want you to get. This is when somebody is coming, he should feel this way, Anyway, so let him know that it's good. It's for it's in his own interest, that he learns, that he communicates very well. I mean, the word communicates perfectly well.
Actually, in BSc, it's strictly the use of pencils, like hand drawings. While at MSc level, there is this 70-30 rule for presentation, for design presentation. That's 70% card and 30% hand drawn at MSc, while at it is 100% hand drawn. So I think maybe the person is coming from that aspect of why do we have to still keep using.
Okay, let me just come in there. Like I said, institutions differ. The institutions have, excuse me, they have different policies. They have things that they have their ideas are different. How they train people, what they concentrate on, what's important to them is different. Somebody who graduates from Princeton and someone who graduates from Yale, they come out differently, but they're all architects, There's somebody they have more aptitude in some aspects, and you have aptitude in some other aspects. I know there was a time a university in Nigeria, one of these old universities actually, that they kind of assignments were given to people at level at that time. They were not in first principles, go take a brief, develop it, do a case study, It was just get the forms. This is the form you want, and then force the things into the form. You get my point? So, they'll give you a form, and then you have to force whatever it is into the form. Now, that's their own way of, and then there are some universities where they'll tell you, look, you must present on tracing paper. And some say, no, it doesn't matter. You can use butter paper, it doesn't matter. So they are just different universities, and it's just they correct how they want to present their students. I don't think anyone is much better than the other. It's just the way the institutions have. So if the institution says that you're saying 70-30, well, and they say, oh, you must do this, you must do 70%, this 30%, and that's part of their marketing scheme. That's what they're interested in. Some investors might say they want 100% card. That's their own marketing scheme. It doesn't mean, people there you're really going to sketch. It means that when you're doing a presentation, everything has to be. And some will say, don't want the newspaper. Use a projector. Do everything and put it in a slide and project it on the board, on your board. That's some university will do that. You can't say this one is better than this one. No, but it's the same training. The whole training, is for you to be able to analyze presentation. Okay, let me tell you, in my university, all lecturers say it didn't matter how you made your presentation. There were no bounds. So people could do in pencil, and you see people's pencil works were fantastic pencil works. And then they'll say, even in their university in Nebraska, some people used to present a charcoal. They'll do a finishing work, the 3Ds in charcoal on wood, on timber. And so it just allows you to just be wild. To be imaginative. Important thing is that how are you communicating? How are you communicating your work to the next person, to the engineer, to the contractor, to the client, to every other person that was involved in that project? They have to understand what you're talking about. That's all. So if his school, wherever institution he is in, insists on something, that is their marketing scheme. He has to obey it to pass. When he comes out, he can decide how he wants to practice. But it would be nice for him to have all the skills. It's better for him to have all the skills.
Because outside the school environment, it's when you're working in a firm, it's strictly card.
It is not.
Except maybe you have to make sketches with pencils.
That's what I'm saying. Now you go to site things, and you have to deal with issues immediately. In fact, you want to give site instructions.
Sure.
You cannot go and start doing, you can't bring your computer, turn it on in the site when it's raining or something. No, let's be practical about it. Your ability to sketch is still very, very important. And whether you're sketching with pencil or the biro or the felt tips, it's the same thing. You understand? It is communication. Like I said, communicate. I'm communicating with the client. I'm communicating with the contractor. The contractor is confused about this. Okay, come and sketch it. Then. It's a skill that the architect needs.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for that answer. Then
thank you.
We are gradually coming to the end of this interactive session. What will be your last words to upcoming or younger architects?
First thing I would say, it's a profession that opens you up to the best in the art and the best in technology. It is just nice to know that you just need to be mobile. You can. It doesn't have to end with you documenting for buildings. You can document for anything. People have hired architects to do the interiors of their cars for them. Their cars are done by architects. You know that?
Yeah.
Interiors. Yeah. So, and you can. What I'm saying, the vista is quite wide. And now that you have this bloodline between professions, just as much as possible, improve oneself and embrace, like I said, embrace technology. For architects to practice in Nigeria, let's all hope and pray. In fact, we should all become very interested in who is the president, who is the governor, who is the chairman of the local government, because these are people that make policies, and these policies affect us directly and indirectly. And if we need to be relevant in the society, we also have to make sure that we are at the point where policies are being made. I give you an instance. It is the prerogative of a state or local government to make laws, development laws within its domain. So if somewhere in their local government make a law, it's their right to make a law within their domain, and they can say within their domain they don't need an architect. It is their the Decree 88 and Act 2004, whatever, gives them the powers. You know what I'm saying? We should be worth our salt. People should be able to see that my project has gone better because I had an architect. We need to be very knowledgeable, and even the minimum standards which we are supposed to work within. We make sure that we attain the minimum standard thing we have. Your drawings, designs, put the difference between the architect's work and the draftsman's work. There should be a visible difference. And then there should be a difference between the job done by an architect and done by a town planner, an architectural work done by a town planner, or done by an engineer. No, because that drafting skill, everybody has that drafting skill. What does it take? Everybody can draft. Yeah, but the one done by an architect should be different. There should be more value to it. And what does that mean? That means that we, the architect himself, has to improve, keep on improving. Because you are the first person that meets the client, you know, then you bring in that person. The future is okay if the economy improves, yes. But even if the economy doesn't improve, let people know that you are important. You know, let us do a project well. Let us be knowledgeable. Let us also learn to work together. You know, so that's what I'll tell them. And then for registration, all the worries, all the things they've talked about here, everybody's concerned, well concerned. And then some of us have children who also want to become architects. So you're worried about what's going to happen to them. So everybody is concerned about making it work, you know. And so they shouldn't worry. They should just take it easy, just calm down as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your wonderful answers to all the questions that different persons in the architectural profession have asked so far. We are so grateful to have you. Then, sir, we would have you back sometime in the future. So for now,
Okay.
thank you for giving answers to our questions. Thank you so much.
It'd be a great pleasure. It's a pleasure talking to you, you know, and sharing ideas. Thank you for the opportunity too. So
to wrap up this video session, do you have any questions bothering you about the NIA, ACORN, architecture and architectural practice in general in Nigeria? I'll leave a link in the description of this video so as to enable you ask your questions. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get notified when the questions have been answered by architects and when I upload the next video. And finally, share this video to your friends so that more people can be informed and send in their questions. We can all learn from one another. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope this was informative. Thank you. See you next time.